The following video contains some accident scene imagery which may upset some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. The ATSB's final report into the collision with a building in Cairns, Queensland, involving a Robinson R44 helicopter, found that for reasons unknown, the sole pilot on board conducted an unauthorised and unnecessary flight late at night at low heights over a built-up area without holding night flying endorsements and while likely affected by alcohol. Employed as ground crew by a helicopter operator at Cairns Airport, the pilot had security code access to the operator's building and was able to make their way to the hangar and position the helicopter onto a helipad. With no strobe lights illuminated, the helicopter lifted off from Cairns Airport on an unauthorised flight, heading south towards the Cairns city centre. Position data recovered by the ATSB from a mounted GPS device showed the helicopter making a turn corresponding with flying overhead the location of the pilot's shared apartment. The helicopter then tracked to the Cairns Wharf complex, completing an orbit before flying to the Cairns Marina and then north along the coastline. While there was no GPS data beyond this point, ground-based radar data showed the helicopter flying in a northerly direction back towards the airport. After flying over the area of the pilot's apartment a second time, the helicopter turned back towards the coast and headed in a southerly direction over the shoreline. The helicopter's altitude did not exceed 500 feet throughout the flight. A CCTV camera from an adjacent building recorded very brief portions of the final part of the flight, which showed the helicopter pitching up and then almost immediately descending steeply. About 4.5 minutes after taking off, the helicopter collided into the roof of the hotel, fatally injuring the pilot. Most of the helicopter came to rest on the roof and was destroyed by impact forces and a fuel-fed post-impact fire. Investigators determined from main rotor blade impact marks underneath the accident site, along with the distribution of the wreckage and the absence of noteworthy damage to the helicopter's skids, that the helicopter was inverted when it impacted the building. A main rotor blade tip shattered the window of a hotel room underneath the accident site. A section of the same rotor blade destroyed the window of an adjacent room. The remaining portion of the rotor blade was found in parkland across the road from the hotel. The helicopter's instrument panel, GPS unit, mast, main rotor head and the other main rotor blade separated from the fuselage during the accident sequence and were located within the grounds of the hotel. The ATSB can conclude from the available evidence that there were no airworthiness factors with the helicopter that likely contributed to the accident. While it was very likely that the pilot was affected by alcohol, the flight was an unauthorised but purposeful act. However, the ATSB did not determine the reason the pilot elected to conduct the flight. While the pilot held a commercial helicopter pilot licence and had experience flying the R44, the pilot was not approved to fly the operator's helicopters at any time. Additionally, the pilot did not hold the appropriate rating to fly helicopters at night and had never flown the Robinson R44 at night. You can read the final report by searching AO-2024-046 on the ATSB's website, by the link provided below or via the link in our bio.